88.7 FM. News Sponge, all about the news.
All right, a very wonderful morning to you, and thank you for staying with us on Diamond 88.7 FM, Ilorin. This is News Sponge, a news and current affairs compilation of topical story headlines making the rounds. I am your host, NEDU OKORIE. You are welcome. In the headlines this morning, President Tinubu swears in Tunji Disu as IGP. U.S. Embassy issues security alert over planned protest in Abuja. IGP Disu inaugurates policing committee, sets 4-week deadline. Nigerian president proposes grid asset management company to fix power sector. President Tinubu suspends airport cashless policy. Federal government imposes 6-year ban on establishment of tertiary institutions. Outrage over suspension of cleric who criticized President Tinubu. Nigerian government approves 6 major road projects across Nigeria. El-Rufai claims political persecution amid ICPC investigation. President Tinubu celebrates Obasanjo at 89. Kwara Court adjourns PDP chieftain's rape case to April 21. Wike warns Amak residents against emergency activists. Mother of 3 killed in Imo truck crash, husband injured. Yabatech student shot dead in Lagos. And that's it on the local scene. Moving on to the foreign scene, at least 87 dead after U.S. sinks Iranian warship. Iran postpones state funeral of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Benin's former president Boni Yayi steps down as leader of opposition party. South Sudan, 26 medical workers missing after attack. And moving into the world of sports, 2026 World Cup, FIFA confirms DR Congo for playoffs, ends Nigeria's hopes. We are ready to replace Morocco as WAFCON host, says South Africa Minister of Sports. And those are the major headlines making the rounds this morning. It was compiled and edited by Adeyemi Adewale. My name is Nedu Okorie. For sponsorship or advert placement, kindly contact our sales and marketing office on 0912-929-43332. You can also call 090-7722-7120. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we discuss and have an in-depth analysis on some of the topical stories. Don't forget that you can also follow us by logging on to any of Diamond FM online platforms on www.diamondfm.net, or keep up to date via all our social media pages. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
You cannot control me. You cannot. Okay. You can have a little control, but I'm still in charge. I can attack any minute, but you can control for like a second. Oh, nice. It's really a nice spot right there.
We know exactly how that feels at Diamond FM. With good conversations, music, and top entertainment that touches your soul. It's radio like no other. Diamond FM, shining supreme. Major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at other countries taking it, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Where?
Don't spoil my business too much. They just too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. I don't kill us for Nigeria. Please, so help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development. I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold in the meal? It's intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice the new democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people. From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Loring, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
All right, it's exactly 7 minutes gone past the hour of 9. A very wonderful morning to you. And today is the 5th day in the month of March 2026. Welcome to Diamond Breakfast Show, the Thursday edition. Well, you can always join me on Diamond Breakfast Show every Tuesday and Thursdays. Well, today we will be taking a look at 3 important topics. The first 2 topics is actually related to elections and pertaining to elections in Nigeria. Then we'll move on to stories, issues concerning the electricity sector in Nigeria. All right, let's take a look at the first topic. The first topic is related to voters' apathy. Yes, the INEC chairman made a statement concerning voter apathy, the cause of voters' apathy in Nigeria. It's actually like a debate between the INEC chairman and an opposition party. That's the NNPP. They reacted to what the INEC chairman says is the factor responsible for voter apathy. Then we'll move on to how we can achieve peace in Nigeria's electoral system. Yes, how to move from a violent, free, how to move Nigeria's electoral process into a violent, free election in Nigeria. Then lastly, we'll take a look at the weight of the responsibility of electricity consumers in Nigeria today, as the National Electricity Regulatory Commission has directed that DISCOs must refund over 20 billion naira to customers. Yes, over 20 billion naira. And these are the issues we'll be looking at this morning. And you can be a part of our conversation by joining us via WhatsApp on 0913655 6864. That's our WhatsApp number. You can also join us on 0913655 6952. All right, while I'm expecting my guest, let's discuss on the first issue this morning. The INEC chairman, Professor Josh Amupita, SAN, was in Akwa Ibom on Wednesday at a workshop. At the opening of a workshop, a technical workshop on the revision of INEC regulations and guidelines for political parties. It was organized by the Commission in partnership with Westminster Foundation for Democracy. And he said that, he said a lot of things, and he said that when political parties showcase candidates that are produced by non-transparent and shady primary election, this is actually what is responsible for the increasing voter apathy in Nigeria. and not just voter apathy, pre-election legal cases, all the issues where, one candidate will start going to court because he is not, he does not like the outcome of the primary election. This is what the INEC chairman said is the cause of voter apathy in Nigeria. And he also lamented that billions of naira had been spent on legal tussles, on litigations because of inter-party fightings. And he stressed that this is has actually adversely affected election outcomes. But he is calling on political parties to formulate party ideologies and adhere strictly to party constitutions. But do you agree with the INEC chairman on the cause of voter apathy in Nigeria? But some would not agree. Yes, some would not agree. The National Publicity Secretary of the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, that's talking about Ladipo Johnson, he reacted to what the INEC chairman said, and he said that the greatest cause of voter apathy in Nigeria is not actually inter-party friction, but the widespread perception that INEC is very complicit in, shortchanging and subverting the will of the people. Now, do you agree? We need to balance these two positions this morning, and let us analyze it. What has been the main reason for people not being interested in coming out to vote during the election period? Is it due to the level of trust in the electoral process? People say the electoral process has been watered down, but the INEC is saying that it is as a result of inter-party fightings, inter-party wranglings, where majority of the people in the party have a preferred candidate, but, another candidate is being forced on, the people. Let us, balance these positions by INEC and also by the NNPP, because I'm very sure that the position of the NNPP might also be the position of other political parties. All right. While speaking, our guest just walked into the studio. That's talking about Dr. Sunday Olaifa Deseko, a lecturer and also a public affairs commentator. Good morning, sir.
Thank you so much.
All right. A very wonderful morning to you. We are talking.
Good morning, sir.
All right. We're talking about voter apathy in Nigeria. We've heard what the INEC chairman said. He said that voter apathy in Nigeria is as a result of inter-party fighting. But the NNPP publicity secretary is saying that no, there is an existential or systemic rot from INEC that the process has been watered down. What do you make of these positions?
Well, if you look at the peculiarity of the election conducted recently in Abuja,
yeah,
I think the chairman of that INEC may be wrong. I use the word carefully because there are situations where we have party issues where people feel that there should be internal peace between, one person, the parties, especially in the process of choosing who is to represent them in the general election. And the chairman is of the opinion that this internal problem issues with the party may be responsible for the reason why people feel that if you can have internal issues in the party, what will now happen when you get out of the general election? And probably that is why they decided not to come out to vote. This might be, there might be a matter of truth in this, but the question is what percentage of people will be confused by that level of issue that is because of what is happening between the party. That's why they are not coming out to vote. I think the major thing that I think is responsible for this is the fact that people want to be assured that they are safe, especially when they leave the comfort of their house, come outside to vote, and then will they have easy access to voting? Will there not be violence in the polling at the polling booth? will they have safety from their house to the polling booth and get home? Then whatever they come out to do, that will cost them a whole day instead of them watching films or doing something for themselves. What will now be the essence of my coming out? Will I get the real results of what you have come out to vote? Is our voting counting? If we vote, does it count? And can we beat our chest to say, yes, the umpire of this exercise has done the right thing in terms of provision of materials at the right time, giving, that access to voting activities to the citizen. I think that's what is more important. Though he also said that the litigations and the battling of going to court and all that is distracting the INEC activities. I want to agree with that 100% because if you see the volume of the internal party rancor in the court, and you see, there's no way they can have an isolated cases without joining, the INEC officials in coming to. I think that's a distraction on the part of the mandate to INEC, and I think the boss is right in that direction. Okay,
to you don't believe that internal party wranglings have little or no effect?
I believe it may have an effect on the part of... No, the litigation, I believe it has effect. Okay. But on the part of the selection of who to represent them, and then whether it's affecting the rate at which people come out of their party rate of people coming out to vote, I think that is not actually significant. Because if people mean that they want to vote, they will come out to vote. They are only scared about their life and their property. They are scared about what level of security will be ensured in that election. Because sometimes the tension raised by the parties concerning this election can scare people away. Places like Lagos, places like River State, places like Kano, where we have more population, people, there used to be a report of violence cases, stealing of ballot papers, a disruption of election process, especially at the polling booth by hoodlums. In that case, you won't expect me to risk my life because I want to vote for somebody that may turn out not to even perform at the end of the 4 years, and then come out and vote where hoodlums will affect the activity of the voting. So
that is the main reason.
If you can assure me that my coming out is free, and I will be very much protected by security operative, and I will vote quietly and go to my house, why not?
So it is still part of the process that you're talking about.
Otherwise, but I want to also add that the internal rancor or probably rivalry between parties should be looked into actually, because in most cases, by the time we have the campaign situation within parties, you can tell from the campaign exercise whether there will be tense on that election day or not. And in fact, if you are like we have in Kwara State during that Otoya issue, I strictly had to warn my children not to go out. This is not because I don't want them to exercise their rights, because I want to protect them from any eventualities that can come up because of the tense nature of the Otoya rancor. And that's exactly what people will look into.
All right, quickly, just a one-answer question. Do you still believe that there is still high level of trust on INEC and its electoral process? Well, your own perception, just before we go on a break.
Okay, I don't believe people believe in INEC. I have my reasons. Maybe when we come back from break.
All right. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show, and we have been discussing on the rate of voter apathy in Nigeria. The INEC chairman gave reasons for this. The NNPP publicity secretary reacted to this and said, no, it is not, that is not the reason. But we have to go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll discuss further and take your reactions. I'll be right back.
Ilé gbára máa dáhùn pépéré ni mo ṣe ń lo Gasco. Ìgúnfẹ̀ burúkú àti inú kíkọ́. Gasco ni oògùn tó dára tó máa ti pépé. Kò yẹ ká jẹun kó má lè digest o. Eré sálátù, aláti àtayọ̀. Gasco nínú bá ti ń kàn mí. Máa tètè gbé. Relief food comfort. Gasco ìgbàlá bí ẹgbàwẹ̀ mi. Máa tètè gbé. Gasco antacid.
Gasco Antacid, iléeṣẹ́ Fixing Healthcare PLC ló ṣe Gasco Fast Relief Full Comfort.
Bí àyípadà ò bá sí lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ kẹta, lọ rí dókítà rẹ o.
minister, a leader, or a walker in God's vineyard, get ready for a divine encounter that will ignite your calling. Ministering Reverend Shegun Abejide, Reverend Dr. B.M. Owojayi, Pastor Dr. Bola Olufayina, Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Kayode for the Fresh Oil Conference 2026. God in the midst of thee is mighty. Zephaniah 3:17. Happening on Thursday, March 12, 2026 by 5 p.m. and Friday, March 13, 9 a.m. Venue, UMCA Chapel at Jashay Buru, Lorraine. Don't miss your moment of fresh fire, fresh grace, and fresh oil. And get ready to be transformed. Fresh Oil Conference 2026, where God in the midst of thee is mighty.
Being iron and care, be good for your body, yeah. Are you not aware? Body fat, CBD for yeah. Now your daily friend, for your blood, if it's 10/10. Oh yeah. Feel your day, just to hit on fasting testing. Love feel that for everybody, healthy body for everybody. Perupina, product of Beats in healthcare.
Tune in to Brilliance, Diamond 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back from that commercial break. You're still listening to Diamond Breakfast Show with NEDU OKORIE, and I've been speaking with Dr. Sunday Olaifa Deseko, and we've been talking about the cause of voter apathy in Nigeria. What is making people not to come out to vote during election, and what is making people to lose trust in the process. Let's take some reactions, but before we take reactions, you wanted to say, mention some reasons why you think people are losing trust in the electoral process and also in the commission, in INEC. What are those issues, apart from security that you mentioned?
That
are making people to lose trust.
The vote counted will be a particular amount, and then by the time it will be announced at the collation center, you see a different thing entirely. And this is what people are really concerned about, that if we go out to vote, are we sure that we're going to have what we voted announced? And the current, recent issue about INEC not being able to transfer the results at the real time is also a concern for people. That is there anything, is it difficult to transfer these things, especially when so much money has gone down the drain in the question, in the process of ensuring that with the use of technology is there in the coming election. So if we spend that volume of money, and we have done 4 years preparation from the last election where we tried it, we should have this thing working. If somebody is saying it will not work when it has not even been tried, it means there's a needing agenda somewhere. That's one of those reasons why people feel that. And we don't think we trust these people, especially in terms of logistics.
Okay?
Other areas, for example, there have been cases where election starts by 9 o'clock, but ballot paper and every other required instrument will not get to the polling booth until 4:30. What do you say to that? Are you expecting people to stay at the polling booth from morning till 4:30 when it's not that they're going to be paid for something? So you see the loyalty that people are giving in this coming out to vote, they will just look at it and question it, that does it really worth it?
Right.
And that's exactly what why people may say, okay.
All right, let's take some reactions from our listeners. I'm very sure they will have a lot to say concerning this. 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mr. NEDU.
Good morning.
God bless you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
Your name and where are you calling from, please?
Without this method, if there has been no accountability, look at this now. Hey, I'm forgetting which is truth. Without all these things, all effort will be in vain.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. This one is from Mr. Kayode Adedare from Kulende, Ilorin. He says, good morning, Mr. Odogo and the guest. Voter apathy is caused by several factors. However, the greatest factor is poor governance by the leaders at the federal, state, and local government levels. When you vote for a person and the same person later punishes you with lack of good roads and potable water, poor power supply, high school fees, and so on, we will be willing to vote. Will you be willing to vote for him next time? All right. Thank you so much for that contribution. Hello. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Alaji Tayo, calling from Mofa.
You're welcome, Alaji.
You see, a lot of factors play together to bring about voter apathy. One of such is that it starts from the primary level. More often than not, you discover that people that are the electorate will be voting for a certain candidate, but because of godfatherism, another candidate will be imposed on them. A particular party just finished its congress in Kwara State. We all know what happened. Those candidates are what happened. These are the reasons. Then another thing is that many a times when votes are being done, it is not counted at the appropriate places, and sometimes when it is counted, by the time they will do the final collation, you begin to see different figures. So this has really affected people say trust in our electoral process. Then militarization of the process too, the other factor. Because many people are always afraid when they see security agents all around the places, they will be able to come out. And at the same time, whenever after you have voted whoever you want to put into power, but they become whatever they want to become, it's become difficult to see them. People bring about dividend of democracy. And you see, if I thought they will give dividend of democracy, it's only for those who are directly involved in the party affairs. But you and me that are not involved in party affairs will not be able to get any of the dividend. Even if they are doing their empowerment and voter free, it's only those that are party members and belong to a particular party that always benefit. So all these things together play to bring about voter parties and generally corrupt practices among our politicians. The best way to do this is really want to be played out. So if all these things are taken into consideration, you see that there will be increase in people's economy, in people's voter turnout.
All right. Thank you so much, Alaji Tayolo, for your contribution.
I want to quickly speak on two aspects.
Okay.
How do you feel when you come out every time to vote, and then the outcome of the vote is something that you feel that this is not representing the general view of the people? And okay, even at that, the person that is now being fixed is not performing. How do you still want me to come back the next year and still want to say, okay, I still want to vote just for the sake of participating in political activities? People get tired. When they, and you know, year in, year out, they give us the same reason, the same campaign, the same promises, which, I mean, they are not fulfilling. And this is actually dampening the...
In short, it means from what we've gathered, INEC needs to do more. The government needs to do more in conducting elections in Nigeria. Well, Israel from Tanker says, I don't know if I will ever go out to vote again in Nigeria, except things get better. I went out to vote during the Autogov movement just because I did not vote in favor of the Autogov movement. In fact, we were shown to the military men in our polling unit, and they beat the hell out of us. Wow. I don't know if it's a must to vote for a party I'm not part of. In fact, since then, I can't even find my voter's card again because I lost interest in the Nigerian political system. I lost trust in the political system. All right, let's rush through some of these messages and we'll move on to our second conversation. How do you expect me to go out and vote after which they will announce another result using military personnel to threaten us at the polling unit and snatching and thumbprinting of ballot papers in secret? Everything is just disappointing, honestly. We will vote and get negative representatives in return with unfulfilled promises. This is from Yemi from Agaka. All right. Elder Yemi Ashaju says, good morning, NEDU. And I guess there is a slight difference between voter apathy and voters' low turnout. To me, what we see happening during elections in recent time is voters' low turnout and not apathy. Apathy is almost a total boycott. In the past, when politicians in collaboration with INEC officials write figures that were not a reflection of real vote cast, was when we were deceived to believe that there was no voter apathy. The introduction of technology at a stage put a stop to writing of election results. Some of the reasons raised by INEC chairman must also be given credence. In actual fact, those who vote are the rural dwellers what we see in voter low turnout is voter low turnout and not voter apathy. Well, a different view right there, yes, I must say. And that is the reason why we are here to analyze these issues, to get various opinion from our listeners. Okay. Let's quickly go on a commercial break. When we come back, we'll take a look at the second topic and probably rush through the remaining messages. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show. Well, when we come back, we'll also take a look at an issue that concerns election in Nigeria, but this is pertaining to how we can move away from violence. Yes, a violent election to a peaceful election is still part of what we are discussing. This is still Diamond Breakfast Show. Do not go anywhere.
Announcement. The wait is over. Samsung has unveiled the powerful new S26 series, and it is now available for pre-order at Femtech. Experience unmatched speed, breathtaking camera clarity, intelligent AI features, and a design that defines premium. Be among the first in Nigeria to own the future. Pre-order the new Samsung S26 series today at Femtech and receive free gift items worth over 500,000 naira. Secure yours now with a pre-order deposit of 500,000 naira. Allocation is strictly limited. Call 0809 999 6565. 0809 999 6565 or visit www.femtechit.com today. Femtech, get more for less.
Koríko tẹ́lẹ̀ bá títẹ̀ òtún gbérí mọ́ ìgbé kára ó lè lúbúlúbú funfun pa èrúkù sarajọ máa rájájá àjàká kò tí sọkọ fún ẹ̀fọ́rí òtútù ìbàtàrà ní olágọ̀ ara kàṣàkàṣà knockout agbára ju agbára lọ ìgbé kára ó lè jagunla bí olùgbòǹgbò gàjà tán ara ìjà tó kìtìlẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ ìlúra kẹgbà Tuyi Pharmaceutical Industries Limited àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi kápò oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é bára rẹ ò bá yá lẹ́yìn ọjọ́ mẹ́ta má ṣàfihàn àwọn dókítà rẹ.
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond 887 FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
You're still listening to your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM, and this is Diamond Breakfast Show, where we're reviewing national issues that concerns everyone. And this morning we've been talking about electoral process in Nigeria, what is causing voter apathy or low vote turnout, as some would term it. And let's quickly rush through some messages before we move on to our second conversation. This one says, internal crisis of a party can't stop me from voting for the candidate of my choice. Ultimately, the failure of on the part of the politicians to fulfill their promises is what is greatly causing the voter apathy. Okay, Al Mansur from Ojaya, thank you so much for your contribution. It's this one says the election rigging, although he didn't mention his name. Okay, the election rigging is a major problem provoking voter apathy. Rigging in form of using thugs, security personnel, and even INEC staff. Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, this one. Voter apathy, lack of trust on election on INEC because people are not too sure whether their votes will count, and security concerns and all that. OKORIE from Alori, thank you so much for that. Okay, Eldeyemi Ashaju also says that people are losing trust because of poor performance on the part of elected politicians and the party they represent, unnecessary manipulation of processes leading to the emergence of candidates. Many still do not see the need to vote for reasons best known to them. Poor sensitization of voter is also part of it. All right, that's it. Let's quickly move on to our second conversation. Is there any hope for peace in Nigeria as regards election? Yes, there was a time when violence was actually the order of the day as regards election in Nigeria, where we tend to, tackle individuals, political figures, when political figures tackle themselves rather than issues. So I think right now the conversation should move from moving to issue-based and violent-free campaign and election in Nigeria. And this was made known by a group known as the International Face for Peace and Integrity Advocacy, FOPIA. They are calling for sustainable peace and harmonious coexistence in the country as we approach the election period. And the emphasis is that political activities generally requires an atmosphere of peace for it to thrive. And looking at this logically, national development can only thrive in a peaceful environment. But Nigeria's political trajectory, I want us to, speak on the possibility and hope of issue-based and violent-free campaign in Nigeria. Is there any hope at all?
Well, it is how you lay your bed that the white people say you lie on it. We can't have a situation where people will come out quietly, do the voting exercise, and get to their house without having any violence.
Yeah.
I think the originator of this violence are not usually those that want to vote. They are usually the party members who are desperate to win election at all costs. And that's why that thing you read happened in River State.
Yes, please.
This is because that River State has been a troubled place since the session of this government. And it means that the group are trying to tell those people that are there that, see, whether Wiki Party or Fubara Party, you need to come out and vote.
Yeah.
Now, you would discover that on the election day, I'm not saying this will happen anyway, but the possibility of having a low turnout will be there because that place is troubled. And you know the way they vote with guns, they vote with heavy presence of military personnel and all that. That's why we're saying that this is the reasons why people are not going out. So if people can be assured that the process will be peaceful, everybody will come out without violence from any group, and then we'll vote and go to our house, in peace. Why not? People will come out. So advocating for peace is important because there's no much, let's not say there's no much of preparation you can do.
Yeah.
If the people feel that there's violence outside there, they will not go out to do the voting. So the most instrument that we need, especially in this electionary period, is peace. Let's feel it that we are free to go out. There's no danger out there, especially on the election day. Then people will be free to come out. So we need the peace more than anything.
All right. Now, looking at the way the Nigerian political structure is right now, the APC is the most dominant party in the country, and we have coalitions of opposition who are trying to... Now, what if you were given the opportunity, what advice would you give oppositions? Because during campaign, there tends to be, will I say, temptation to start attacking personality based on their performance, based on what they do, based on where they go and what they say. All these things will actually emerge. But we've also seen cases where political office holders or, opposition figures, they tackle issues that are not in place. This is known as issues-based politics rather than, individual-based politics. What advice would you give these oppositions and even the main party in conducting their campaigns?
It's unfortunate that APC has not been able to get to have, the required and the needed level of opposition that I would have appreciated. But notwithstanding, because when PDP was in power, APC gave them a good, averagely okay opposition. When I am talking about opposition, I am not talking about condemning, government policies and programs and all that. I'm probably speaking on issues that are not necessary. I'm talking about demanding for accountability from the government in power and ensuring that all the policies they are bringing out are those that will be of benefit not only to party members but to the entirety of the citizens.
Yeah.
So if we talk about opposition, people used to misinterpret it for bringing down the government in power. I've seen quality oppositions that will talk about the good things that the person in government is doing and probably just bring one or two addendum to make it perfect. And that is the opposition that is productive that we want. The opposition that we have in terms of the level of opposition now in Nigeria is something that is more of personal issues that are, or less of general issues. I would expect that the coalitions and other parties that are on ground, knowing the volume and the size of APC, especially with numbers of state control, will also bring out those things that APC needs to do. It is not all the time that you want to take government from people, but you can make the people in the government, you can put them on their toes and make them do the right thing. That is the essence of the opposition. Not because, everything is not about... It's just like when APC came into power, I'm sorry to say this is my personal opinion, I was saying it that they did everything to take power from the PDP. But if they are giving more attention to, if we get to power, what exactly do we have to offer these people? So instead of putting more of their energy on what to do when they get in power, they actually strategize so much on how to take the government. And you see, it's one thing to take the government from the person that is already on ground. It's another thing to get there and perform. So the performance, the programs that were slated to be done, there was not really any agenda or good programs like that. Everything on ground was, how do we get into power? When we get into power, what do you do next with the power? It is one thing to get the power. It is another thing to do something positive with the power. So opposition that we want should be a positive one that will lead to development of the country, not the one that will promote personal interests and personal agendas.
I love the part where you said that it's not only about condemnation, but we can also, add to what the good things the government is doing. Because everything, the end is to, please the citizens and achieve good results. And we can also achieve it through the opposition.
It's possible.
It's very possible. And I think we should graduate. Our politics should.
That's exactly what opposition is for. It's meant for. You have to force them you have to demand accountability from them and force them to do the right thing. Because they know once you bring out the bad thing in their policy, if they have a think tank, as in think tank that used to reason for them, they will look at it that what these people are saying is correct. And if we don't do anything about it, people they can take advantage of that loophole to convince people that we are not a good government. So they will go and correct it, and that will be to the advantage of those of us that are waiting for the outcome of their activities. So that's why I said it is not just about coming out to say the government has not done this, the president is this way, the president is this way. We have tested several political parties in this country. At least I'm close to 50 years, and within this period, you will see that there is no much difference in the activities of all of them, especially with the way they jump from one party to the other. You see that it's the same set of people, same idea, same ideology and all that. So if you want the best, it's not just about the party now. It is the interest of the country. How do we get to the promised land? But you see, by the time people begin to think about their own purse and now they want to make money, then you see the quality of the opposition they will be giving will be something that is close to
right. Well said, Dr. Adeseko. Thank you so much. Let's take one or two reactions and we move on to our final topic. 09136556952. Hello.
Hello, Brother Delegate.
You're most welcome.
On our part,
okay.
Doctor and my wife they are contributing. Doctor, your guest.
Yes.
Through contacting. Perception that they have been very learned. Perception that the result of election will not be announced and conducted. You know, it takes the argument between me and my wife when our children were we never agreed into society. Like doctor admission. Doctor himself already wrote what is the problem That is where their party and the voter turnout, as my friend, will happen. You stop his own children. My wife was trying to stop her own children. It always took me and my wife argument on election day when they were out of my 5 children, only 2 for them. That's a wrong perception that the election, their votes will not count. Whereas, as far as I'm concerned, votes counted in 20%. That was why Tinubu lost in Lagos. So, in as far as early and educated people have that impression that no turnout and that is the problem, nothing more. Don't let us believe in. Let us be there first. I mean, they are not. When you see violence, you know it. You come back. But if you have a perception that the result will not be announced as the elections are conducted or there will be violence. Thank
you so much. God bless you.
You don't know that ought to get time. You see, that's what I'm talking about. The parties have a lot to do, especially in giving people that confidence that we are not going to cause trouble in the election. They have that role to do. Mr. Bambele don't understand what I'm saying. In that time of Otoya, I can see the opposition, I can see the tension they are building, I can see everything they are doing. And my registration post, my polling booth is in Tanke. And that Tanke area is the student area. And those students are prone to being used. I cannot allow my kids to go out. On what basis? For what vote? My vote with my children and my wife cannot make or marry any candidate. It's better to be security conscious.
Let's rush this morning. This one is from Kolade Aide from Amsterdam. It says the voter turnout of 15% of registered voters is that low turnout of voter apathy. It's like a question. 15% turnout. That's actually low turnout, and it can be termed as voter apathy because many people did not turn out. All right, Elder Yemi Ashaju says politicians are responsible for election crisis. No thugs recruit himself, but politicians do. Nigerian politicians do not see defeat as part of the game. All 5 contestants for one elective position want to win at all costs. Nevertheless, violence is gradually losing its hold in our elections. And I believe that with positive mindset from stakeholders, it will soon become history. Where there are oppositions, criticism should be constructive, engaging, conversational. Violence is gradually getting tired. I believe so.
I believe so. That's why I said even the INEC has a lot to do in telling people that come out, don't worry. We have the confidence. You have our confidence when you vote, it will count. Most importantly, that you are safe.
Yes, that's what people want to know.
You agree with me, sir? You agree with me, sir, that if you have presidential election, I don't know, the reverse may be the case sometimes. The first election, check out the population of people that used to come out for that election. Thereafter, if there is peace everywhere, especially in the particular area, it will affect the turnout of people the next one because they use the first people as experiment. Let's see what we'll go and vote around.
All right, we just hope, our hope is that the election process in Nigeria improves. Well, let's move on to our final conversation quickly. Our time is fast spent. Let's take a look at the energy sector. The chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, Mr. Musili Hosseini, has ordered electricity distribution companies, that's the DISCOs, to refund a total of 20.33 billion naira to customers who paid for meters under the Meter Asset Provider Scheme, but are not yet to be fully reimbursed. Now, according to the directive, the outstanding amount must be recovered and paid back to the customers within a period of 12 months, starting from March. That's this month. Now, under that scheme, that's the Meter Asset Provider Scheme, customers were asked to pay upfront for the electricity meters with the agreement that the DISCOs will refund the cost of that meter over time, not through cash, but through energy credits, through tokens. However, NEC has observed that the reimbursement of these funds has progressed very slowly. That means they still have backlogs of 20 0.33 billion naira. Now let's take a look at this. This is a discovery by the Regulatory Commission. This is actually what they are meant to do. But
thank God.
Let's look at discos, those in charge of distribution. I think there is some sort of disparity between the GENCOs and the discos in terms of energy being generated and that's the one that is being distributed. I've heard that there is some sort of disparity, that what is being generated actually is more than what is being distributed. But let's look at this particular issue.
What is being generated is more than what is distributed, and yet we are having this epileptic supply.
There's that disparity, and I think it's part of the problem of infrastructure on the part of the discos. But let's take a look at this particular, issue, the weight of, the responsibility of the consumers. Consumers are the ones that are,
we have always been at the receiving end.
Yes.
And I want to believe that, thank God for the establishment of all these regulatory bodies. Otherwise, the companies in Nigeria are not friendly to the customers, especially in terms of service delivery and treatment and all that. I've never seen any time in my life where NEPA say, okay, take this light for the period of 1 month, 1 week, and then you are not paying for it. But see, if you now pay for one, don't you have value for the money you pay for? That's why I'm saying that this thing that the NERC just did is long overdue. Imagine meters acquired in 2024, under use, and up till now, the distribution company has refused to pay back the money for the meter in the first place. There was a law against, for this, that every meter user should be free.
Yes.
When the decision was not that fast, they said, okay, you pay. We will give you the money back. That was the agreement. Up till now, if not for the outcry of customers every day, every now and then, especially to the regulatory body, they won't come out with this. That's why I said it's long overdue. Now that they say they should return it and it should start from this March, it's not the returning that they will do. And you see, when I buy what's it called? What they call the token?
Yes.
You will now deduct it from my token. That was the way I was treated. I was told that the bill I have, my place is not a commercial place, so that the bill I have on my new my old bill, my old meter, the meter that is not running, so they were just bringing bills. Expected.
Are you postpaid customer or prepaid?
Prepaid.
Okay.
So they will bring the bill every month, and that meter was not readable, so they will bring bill, and then I will pay. Later, they now said, as they are giving me this new meter, that I have 91,000 naira to pay, but if I recharge, they will deduct it from the token that I bought from them gradually until it ends. So in my first installation, I have 100 units. After the exhaustion of that 100 units, I bought another 100.
Okay.
I can't remember the amount now. And I discovered that in 2 weeks, I got it exhausted. It was fasterly, I don't know whether that English is correct. It was more, exhausted, exhausted compared to the time I studied for the first 100 that was given free. So thereafter, I will charge, and then I will recharge, and then I will value the way it was used. I discovered after about 2 years that what I buy now, I use it more of what I buy those days after that first installation. So I asked a friend, and he said it was the debt that was on that meter that was, systematically, deducted. It means they have a system of deduction or a reimbursement of unit that is working. But when it came to the other part of them reimbursing those customers that use their money to pay the bill, they can no longer do it.
Because they are not transparent in their...
Of course. Of course. This is what we are saying. When it comes to Nigeria, this is a Nigerian factor playing out. If you have a system to deduct from the unit I'm buying, my debt, how on earth will you say you don't have that same system working to pay back, just to continue to give credit worth of what those people, the worth of those people, that the money they have with you? Now, the law is now saying that at the beginning of every month, credit them. At least those on prepaid, put the money in their bill, let them use it. Yes. After they are done with it, they can buy for that month.
True.
But in the next month, credit them again. It means there will be a plan, just like the plan they use in the Dirty My Own.
Exactly.
There will be a plan of how much time they will extend the money to and divide it and then deduct it. This is what they are not doing, that the law is forcing them to do. And I think it's a welcome development, because if you have Dada and Dada cannot fight, at least the brother can fight.
All right, thank you so much. Now, still, this is just one part of the crisis that is bedeviling the energy sector.
Of course.
This is just one part. And I think I saw the report this morning that the president is proposing grid asset management company.
I was about to comment
for our grid.
I was coming to that.
Do you think that is necessary?
That the president is proposing what?
The grid asset management company that will oversee the management of our grid. If there is installation or if there is of new infrastructure, that is the company that will be in charge.
Whatever the president has to do to ensure that Nigeria has constant supply of light, he must do it. Especially with this coming election, if you want to have anything to do. For me personally, it's on the life. I do not like when somebody will come out openly and beat his chest and promise something and eventually will not do anything to it. I'm disappointed that he did not, I don't want to be that particular, but I cannot see any improvement in what the president has done in the last 3 years. He's now coming back now to do something in the last 1 year, probably close to the election, because of the constant reminder. That's what I said opposition should do, of what the president said when he was campaigning. He said that if we did not have a constant supply of electricity by next election, we should not vote for him. And this is something he should have taken seriously from the first day, just like he took removal of subsidies seriously.
All right.
He should have taken it seriously from there. And all this establishment of this and that, this is not the first time we're having failure in national grid and all that. This should have been done earlier.
It is long overdue. All right, our time is fast spent. Let's quickly rush through some messages. This one says state government should localize electricity generation, partner with private investors to enable access to electricity in your state, and limit your investments to the provision of access to land. And it says that Nigeria has various renewable energy sources across its state, from solar, hydropower, wind, biomass. Enormous challenges facing the sector, but the management is not giving enough commitment to revive the sector. I think they stand to profit more with the present state of performance than when the system is working. It is very unfortunate.
Very, very.
Thank you so much, Elder Yemi Ashaju, for that contribution. Prince Bankole Owakajola says, how I wish the issue of insecurity here and there is addressed and brought to an end. Otherwise, invaded communities may be denied of their rights. Our government should hammer on insecurity before 2027. The government must see that all invaded communities resettle before August 2026. Otherwise, there may be imaginary voting in all invaded communities, as nothing is impossible in Nigeria.
You see what I'm saying?
We've said a lot this morning. And the point of saying all this is to actually, prompt those in charge of power to take cue of all these things and, take correction and adjust where necessary. All right, this is where I'll be drawing the curtains on today's edition. Thank you so much, Mr. Olaifa, Dr. Sunday Olaifa, for coming this morning.
Thank you.
My name remains NEDU OKORIE. Have a wonderful day, and let's make Nigeria a better place.
Ah!